without further ado, let's jump into some free agency and what the 49ers have done. Quick summary, what the 49ers can do, okay? And that's, I understand everybody talking about, I want to sign this guy, I want to sign that guy. Why don't the 49ers do this? Let's bring this guy back. I want them all too. It's not really how it works, unfortunately. Real quick, the biggest signing, Charvarius Ward. The more I like this guy, and again, we put a whole bunch of film up on Patreon. I like him a lot, a lot. And so if you want to go check that out over on Patreon, the best way to support the show, by the way, you can check that out because I've got a couple of the game films up. I put one film up on here. I put another one up on there. Now, we lost Laken Tomlinson. That hurts. That's the biggest ouch to me because that could have been a Trey Lance security blanket that we don't have anymore. Offensive line's a major issue. We're going to talk more about that. DJ Jones walks. He gets paid big. Happy for him. That's huge. Now, you're hoping to plug the gap that DJ Jones left with Javon Kinlaw, right? Who, just had the surgery done, the ACL cleanup and all that stuff. The same guy that did Jimmy's leg, same guy that did Nick Bosa's leg. So you're hoping it, Kinlaw was on Brad's show the other day. Shout out to Brad. He's awesome. Graham, he's a great dude. Great film work as well. Saying how he feels way better already than he did at any point last year, which everybody's going to say positive things. But that is positive. That's a great thing. So you're hoping that just plugs in and you're going to be good there. Now, you bring in Greg Odom, which is a relatively cheap deal. And let me say this also, because I think this is very important when we're talking free agency. Any initial contract that is brought up, they're going to say, oh, it's, 3 years, 10 million, 2 years, 10 million, whatever. You got to wait. Those numbers don't mean jack squat. Okay. They don't mean anything. They really, really don't. Because once the details come out, you start to realize pretty damn quick, that's not really what it is. Because everything is far more nuanced. That's just life. We want to boil things down into this simple whatever, this, that. Okay, so let's talk about Charvarius Ward real quick, okay? Gets leaked. Okay, it's a 3-year, $40.5 million deal. So you do the math, you figure all those things out. It comes out to $13 million, all those things, okay? And then you're like, okay, start looking at the cap hits because that's going to kind of tell you what it is. The cap hit for Charvarius Ward, who's getting $13.5 million, is $3.8 million this year. Where's the other $10 million? Well, you spread it out. He's got 2 void years on his deal already, which this is the new way of the NFL because they're expecting the media contract TV deal to just blow the contracts out of the water. And we're already seeing this year over the past 2 years. So teams are much more just, hey, let's push things to the back with young players. You don't do the void deals with older players unless you're planning a rebuild afterwards. That's a whole nother story. But again, you look at these cap hits. Next year, the biggest cap hit of Charvarius Ward's entire deal, $16.4 million. That's a big cap hit. But again, it's not like he's averaging this 13.5 every year. And then 2024, he's got a $15.4 million cap hit. And we got a potential out there as well. So if he doesn't work, you can get out. You're going to hit some penalties for sure. But you look at the kind of structure of his deal, it's not a $13.5 million a year contract thing. It's not at all. So let's just say hypothetically, it doesn't work out with Charvarius Ward. Okay. And you're like, you know what? We're just going to bounce. We're just going to leave it 2 years. We're out. If you release him post June 1st, after 2 years, so 2024, you save $13 million off the cap. That's a $1.5 million cap hit if you choose to move on. So you can talk about, oh, they're paying them corner one money. No, they're not. Well, maybe bottom end, but it's like that with every single contract that we have. The details are not as extreme. Agents put that out, and it's a publicity stunt. It's nothing wrong with that. It's the equivalent of somebody posting how great their life is on Instagram, right? Like you look through their feed, and you're just like, oh my gosh, these guys are the happiest people in the world. Which I might be guilty of this as well. But that's not always the situation behind the scenes. You're just seeing the surface level, what they want you to see. That's not the real truth. And so whenever you start digging into these contract numbers, which I recommend going to Spotrac and Over the Cap and playing around, you can start to figure some of these things out. it's never what you think. You know what I mean? And I love Charvarius Ward, and I hope he gets every single penny of his contract. But even if he gets every single penny, it's still not what the agents leaked out. It's just not the reality of the situation. So that's not happening. So with other guys, we got George Odom. You know, again, everybody's like, man, why are we paying so much for this guy? He signed a 3-year, $9.5 million deal. Okay, listen to these cap hits. $1.4 million this year, $1.8 million next year, $1.6 million his third year, with 2 void years where it's under $1 million cap hits spread out. Like, there's no way at any point in this it gets to that $9.5 million. It just doesn't do it. It does not happen. So don't be stressed out whenever you hear those numbers. You got to wait and see. You just got to wait. But I really do like this kid. George Odom coming over safety help. I don't think, they told him he's not coming in to compete for the safety spot. He's added depth in the safety spot. And, I got to jump out of free agency real quick and talk about this because I think it's important. There has been so much slander against Talanoa Hufanga. And I don't understand why or where this is coming from. I think, again, we're seeing this common theme with the 49ers where they fall in love with an old vet, Jaquiski Tartt in this reference. And so they see the competition with the young rookie and they pick a side. Stop picking sides. That's not going to get you anywhere because now you start rooting against players on your own team. Does Hufanga have limited athleticism? Yes. Does he have amazing instincts? 1,000% yes. Does he have an amazing motor? Yes. Does this front office and coaching staff believe in him? 100% they do. Remember, when Tartt was healthy, they were swapping series. So the 49ers saw him in his rookie year as interchangeable to what Tartt brings. You want to talk about missed tackles? Man, he 1,000% better than Tartt. Is he better than Tartt? I don't think so. But could he be better than Tartt? Yes. 100% he could be. Now, again, everybody's like, oh, we're going to bring back Tartt. Why would you bring in George Odom if you're going to bring back Tartt? We have 4 safeties currently. Jimmy Ward, Tarvarius Moore, Hufanga, and now Odom. You're not going to pay 5 safeties what Tartt needs. Now, Tartt's probably going to get like a $2 million contract. And again, people are getting hung up because on a guy that's going to make $2 million as a safety, like, there's a reason why he came back last year, and I was glad he did. And I hope he comes back this year. I would like for that to happen. But that doesn't mean you have to trash on Hufanga. Does Hufanga have issues? Yes, 100%. There's a reason why he went in the 5th round, right? And that's okay. But the playmaking ability is there, and there's positives there. There's great things. So this coaching staff seems pretty damn happy with what they have at that safety position. Could they draft somebody? I hope they do. I would like a little bit more youth to compete and a possible Jimmy Ward replacement. But again, we got to chill out on this stuff, man. Like, I don't know where that comes from, where people just start openly bashing all these guys. I don't know.